Hey, everybody, welcome one more day, one more episode of OVO in the House Olympic View Opinions, where students from Olympic View Elementary share their thoughts and opinions on different topics. Today's episode is quite a fun one. Today we're going to be talking about robots in the workforce. All right, so with no more introductions, I think everybody's already kind of familiar with a little bit of the voices that you guys hear. So if you guys want to hear someone in particular, just leave a little comment on our Spotify or leave a little comment on our YouTube, and we'll make that happen. I think the kids are very, very happy to hear your feedback as well. So, all right, so let's get started. Robots. Friends or foes? I don't know. Who would like to start off with this idea of robots in the workforce or in the workplace?
So for robots in the workplace, it could either be a good thing or a bad thing.
Okay, so what elaborate on that, please?
So for the good things, it's like you don't need to pay them. They could work 24/7. But the bad things is how much they cost, or if they could break down somehow, and they could just be like kind of creepy.
Kind of creepy. Why creepy? I mean, it's robots. Like, what makes it creepy? You had a lot of topics that I think everybody here could comment on, but I want to know why you think it's a creepy thing.
It's just because like how much technology or like AI can do.
Okay.
It's kind of just like weird, you know?
Can you give me like an example that you probably had or heard where technology or robots were creepy?
So like I saw this like robot and it looked like a human and it was like weird.
And like
to
what?
just see that. Like
When? Where?
I don't know. I think I just saw it somewhere on YouTube.
On YouTube. And was this robot? You say yes, Jimenez. Elaborate on that.
I just saw the robot too on YouTube, and it was scary because it had like a human head, like a human face,
Wow.
and they made it look like a human. And it was like talking regularly and walking like a person should. And
Okay.
it's like creepy.
All right. So, but I mean, if you think about it, like you're saying, it's creepy, but I mean, robots can make everyday tasks very easy. And one of the things that I want to mention is like robots are not just like what we see in movies, like human form robots, like with heads. Like, I think we can consider robots like any type of machine that can do a job, right? Like, have you seen those new vacuum cleaners that are just like little circles and they just move around the house?
A Roomba?
What is that called?
I think it's called a Roomba.
A Roomba?
I
My
used to have
grandma
one.
has one.
Okay, that to me is kind of scary. Like, how does it? I mean, it does something that a human normally does, like vacuum.
It's controlled on your phone. Like you can like recognize like when you get it, you like show it around the house, and then it scans the area to know like how big it is, like the
Okay.
width, and then it knows where to go.
Okay, so which is perfect, right? Like, I have one that we use in the bottom of our house. Like, it's just running around, and then we just charge it from here and there, and then it's just like picking up trash, right? And that's super helpful. Like, I don't have to worry about vacuuming or cleaning that part of the house because it's already done by a robot, right? Can you think of another example, Ian, where robots? I mean, either you use them or you know of them.
I saw like an ad on TV. It showed like this giant robot. It's not really like a human-looking one. It's just like kind of like a robotic, like an AI-powered machine that like built a car, and like it has like the frame of a car, and then it moves down to the like windows and everything.
So is a machine that is actually making or putting together cars.
Yeah.
Okay. And one of the things that Red mentioned was they're taking jobs, right? Like these are jobs that were done by humans, and now we are seeing robots doing them, and they're doing a good job. Right? Zoe, you want to say something?
So I read this article and it was like about this cafe, and instead of like workers, they had this robot making all the coffees, and there was one worker that just like gave it the little finished touch, and then it was ready to serve.
Okay, so you're talking no more baristas, like no more people.
There was like a few people just like after the robot made the coffee, just giving it like a few little touches, and then like giving it.
So, but like the main thing was done by the robot. And did the robot take the order also?
Yeah, it had like a little iPad
Okay.
that like people could order, and then it would send like a little message to the robot,
My gosh.
and the robot knew what to make.
All right, so this is now here's the creepy stuff right here is happening, right? Like I mean, there's a robot taking your order, there's a robot making you your drink, and then why do we need humans for, right? Like there's robots doing everything. If I was the owner of a coffee shop, like if I owned my own coffee shop and if I could afford a robot, I would probably get a robot instead of hiring two people, right? One to be taking the order and then the other one who's going to be making the coffee or the drink, right? So, in the long run, as a coffee owner, I will probably be saving a lot of money, right? Because every person you hire, like you will have to pay them like their hourly wage, right? Does anybody have anything to say with that?
But that's from the like point of view from the owner, but the people that actually want to get hired to get money aren't getting that what they need.
Yeah, they won't have like the chance to get like I think that like people we're all like used to seeing humans and like when we see robots we think it's like futuristic and we're not used to that, so I think we just have to get used to seeing robots.
Yeah.
So,
What if the coffee's not as good as people making it?
oh, what if like robots are making better coffee than humans?
What if humans are making better coffee than robots?
Yeah, what if they have like a secret ingredient or something like that?
Well, if I was like the owner of a coffee shop and if I had a secret ingredient, I would probably program my robot to know the secret ingredient. And then that way my coffee's going to be good, right? So, I like that you guys are bringing this idea of like, okay, well, we have two different things, right? I think the human touch, right? Like my experience, and I think I told you guys in a lesson one day, it was crazy how these things are evolving. Where I went into a fast food restaurant or at the drive-through, and I said my order, and then all of a sudden, that the voice kept asking me questions, and I thought it was like another person. It sounded so like human, right? And but it just took him like a while to respond. So, but I was having this conversation with what I thought was a human, but it wasn't. It was a machine. It was some type of robot taking my order. And it was weird because it was asking me, do you want more, like, do you want any condiments? Does that complete your order? Would you like to add something? Like, it was a full on conversation. Yes, it was just about the food, but it was a conversation I was having with a robot, right? And then at the end of of me getting my order, I went into the drive-through. I was like, "Hey, was I talking to you?" And like, no, like it's a new system we're having, we're trying out. And I looked at my receipt, I looked at my meal, everything was just exactly as I ordered it. So it was like, okay, sometimes I order like with humans and they miss my order, right? They make my order wrong. So I don't know. It's scary to a point because you're saying, well, what about people who are looking for jobs, right? Or like high schoolers who are barely starting, like they need jobs or they're looking for jobs, right? They're fresh out of high school or whatever and they want just like a part-time job to go to college, and now they don't have that opportunity because a machine is taking over. So I don't know. I don't know what the future has, but it's crazy. What do you think, Alana?
Well, I think robots shouldn't take replace the entire job, but like should be in workforces to like help help it out. Like, Mr. Torres, you right here, showed us a video to the classroom, and it was of a robot helping out like construction workers carrying like big loads, but not completely replacing the entire worker.
Yeah, that was pretty cool because it was actually. You guys remember that video that was like it had arms and legs and it was walking like next to the worker and they were doing all this work together. And I'm pretty sure the human was the one leading, right? So if the human went to the left, the robot went to the left. It went to the right, they went to the right. So and that was what the person was saying, right? Like robots are here to help you, not take over your job. But we are seeing like robots, like Zoe just said, they're making your coffee. They're taking your order. Like that's half of the job or more than half of the job of a human person can do, right? So, I mean, I don't know. What do you think, Dean?
I think that I don't really want robots to take over the world. Like I think like we should do it manually because like they can like break down and stuff and yeah.
Like, yeah. Pauline, I'm gonna like pick your brain with all your artistic ability. Can robots replace like artists? Is it something that can happen where robots now can maybe design like what you're just thinking and then instead of hiring you to design our logo, we'll just make AI do a logo for us. Like what do you think with that?
I don't know. Sometimes I tried like those AI websites to make stuff. I would like make random stuff,
Okay.
and then they just like wouldn't come out the way it would be.
Ah.
I imagine it to be.
Okay. I mean that's something good for artists, right? Because if AI can take over your project, like that's scary. But like you just said something very, very, very on point. Like I told the AI I wanted this color, but at the end, it was not doing what I envisioned in my head, right? And the same thing goes with like the other day. I don't know if someone mentioned in our class about like robot athletes. Imagine like instead of having a human quarterback, we just have like an arm and just throwing straight bullets and perfect passes. Like, would that even be fair? Like,
Well,
what would it do to the sport?
I think that would be boring because like they can score automatically and like
Yeah.
their whole system is about scoring and it'd just be tied.
It wouldn't be fair. Yes, Elizabeth.
A YouTuber already made a foot that like kicks a perfect field goal.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, like I mean, what Dean said, it's not fair because it's just everything's calculated for it to do it on its own.
And it would keep it the same score because then they would get the robot.
Mm-hmm. Alana, you were gonna say something. Go ahead.
Okay, but like if I was watching sports and it was just robots doing it, it would like be boring, like what Dean said. But if people were doing like it, like shows like people's dedication and hard work to the sport.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, even though like sports can be dangerous, and I'd rather just probably see robots get destroyed instead of maybe like somebody busting their eye or something, you know, like really bad, like hurting themselves. For those who don't know, do you want to tell a story? Come on, just do it for the podcast. All right, here comes Alana. We're gonna. It's kind of like going off topic, but I think it's a good story.
So basically, I was at my football game and I was on defense. My team was on defense. I am the blitzer, so I was running at the quarterback, and she went to go get rid of the ball really fast. But when she threw up the elbow, it hit me in the eye, and now I have a black eye.
Ouch. Yeah, and if you were here, listeners, man, it's a big one. But she's still on it. So imagine if it was a robot. Imagine it was like a hand made of steel that was throwing that football, and you would just like, it would have been really, really,
Maybe,
really
like,
bad.
crack a bone or something.
Maybe the
Probably.
whole eye would have came out.
All right. So, yeah, and we talk about robots going into the workplace, right? And one of the places that I see that robots um coming into a school, into a classroom, okay? Like I I try to like envision myself and then with a robot that just look just like me, but it's not a human, it's just a robot with a maybe not as ugly as me, but some resemblance to me. How would that work in the classroom? Will like, how do you think it will work? A teacher robot.
So reading about like the school topic,
Hmm.
so I also read this article which was like instead of there were like little groups of the kids just doing their work and instead of the teachers just like going around and like checking on them, it was just like robots telling them what to do. And they
Okay.
had like an iPad and like the whole work was there like, "Oh, do this and answer this question," and the kids would just listen to the robot.
Well, what if they had kids who don't listen to teachers? Will they listen to robots better? I don't know. What do you think?
I don't think so.
Well, we have Dean right here in the house who sometimes listen. No, I'm kidding. Dean is a great student. He's always on it. But would you take advantage, Dean, or would anybody here take advantage of a robot instead of like I don't know, in a
People
way?
would because like they're not really programmed to like discipline people,
Uh huh.
and like you could just go on your phone or like just leave class because like you don't have that supervision with robots.
Roblox. But I mean, um, so what makes you like stay in class, stay focused? Does
Yeah.
it the human part?
Yeah,
Yeah. Why?
because like you guys could be like funny and stuff, and then the robots would be like, just like
So maybe robots won't have emotions.
yeah, it's weird.
And do you guys remember what we read about the lack of emotions on robots?
Oh yeah.
What was it? What happens to the environment when there is no emotion?
It's boring.
It could be boring. What else?
Have no color in the world.
There's no color. Elizabeth,
Like
do you remember
No.
you remember the article where the old man was saying that it
Oh,
was
yeah.
this is a hostile environment, right? Because the robot asked him to move, right? Like the robot was like
said he regret
walking, not
that.
walking, probably maybe rolling.
Yeah, he was in a wheelchair, and the robot, since it was programmed to like tell people to move out their way when they're like walking, so they don't bump into them. The robot asked him to move, and he didn't like that. He said he would rather, deal with humans.
Yeah, so I mean that's a huge part of it, right? Like lacking those emotions. People don't like that. Okay, me personally, I wouldn't take that level of disrespect if a robot asked me to
I
move
wouldn't
like
let
that.
that slide.
Right, I wouldn't let that slide. No, but I will be like, you know what? When I go to like a coffee place or when I go to a restaurant, like I like that interaction with the waiter. I like that interaction with the host. Like I like having that personal touch, right? Like I could have like huh? Yeah, that social part to it. It's very, very important to me. And that's just something that I don't think we'll ever have with robots, no matter how advanced technology might get. And we read about that too. Remember about like those engineers who were working on the lack of emotions by creating a face that showed anger, sadness,
Yeah, the basic emotions.
the basic emotions, right? So all of this idea, even though like we're programming robots to do it, I don't think they'll ever become like humans can, right?
Yeah, I feel like if you go to a restaurant and there's like a robot attending you, it'd be like boring because instead of like the waitress saying like, "Hey, good morning, how are you?" the robot would just be
Or
like,
or even if you go like say, hey, what do you recommend, right? Like what tastes good?
Like the robots don't eat.
Yeah, they have like no opinion. They would just like pick the most popular one that people order if it's on like
Yeah.
boats and stuff.
Or like the most expensive one.
Oh yeah, because they want you to like spend your dough right there, huh? Yeah, that's true. That money. All right. So, final thoughts, boys and girls. What overall, anything that you want to share out or say about robots in the workplace? We're gonna start on our left. Ready? Go. Ian, go.
I think robots should not be in the workplace because they won't match human emotions, and I think humanity is just too used to seeing humans working.
That's true. Ian, I mean
Just
Dean.
like,
Gene?
just like emotions, humans have their own personalities,
Ooh, that's a good one
but
right there.
and then robots are just like they're literally the same.
Yep.
I just think that we should stick to humans.
All right.
I agree. I think we should just keep with humans because we could talk to them and they show more emotion.
Yes.
And robots, I think, could take over the workplace, and it's gonna be hard for us to find jobs.
That's a great point right there, Pauline.
I don't think they should be in the workplace because, like, just imagine, like, waking up one day and then seeing, like, technology all around.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that they should be in the workplace, but I think they should just like be there to like help out like heavy like workloads and stuff.
Yeah, that's a good one. Always like using robots to help.
I agree because if robots like would take over, it would just be boring.
It would be boring, and a lot of things like could change for everybody. Making, even though some people might say it'll make it easier, but I think it could also harm humanity greatly, right?
Well, like, I'm guilty of that too because I've made a robot at home too that like I could just take to somebody. Like I could like drive it, and when I like drop something off at them, like it's like a little bucket, and then they grab it, and then there's like something in there,
Yeah,
Okay.
and then I
I'm-
drive it back.
I'm leaning more on like robots should not be in the workplace though. Like,
Okay, so you heard it here. Anybody else want to say something else? We're good to go? All right, well, thank you so much, everybody, for listening to this episode, Robots in the Workplace. We're very, very happy that you're with us. Don't forget to subscribe and follow and share this with your family, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, and your pets. Ooh, pets. Maybe that could be another topic next time. All right, boys and girls, thank you for listening. Have a great one. Everybody say bye.
Bye.